Hi YouTube, this is Red Fox. I've just been shopping online for bargains in miniature armies. I found some good stuff on thewarstore.com. I ordered a box set called Malic's Endless Hordes Mega Army. That's what they call it on the Mantic Games web store. But I didn't buy it from the Mantic Games web store. I got it at a 20% discount from thewarstore.com. So UPS sent me a box of Mantic's Undead minis, but they sent me the wrong box. I sent some emails to the War Store explaining there was a mix-up, so this guy Neil, who runs the place, promised to send me the right box. So then I asked him, what do I do with the box that was sent to me by mistake? He said I could send it back to him and he would pay the shipping, or I could buy it for half of the War Store's usual price. So then I got all excited and I did a dance around the room. My roommate thinks I'm crazy, but I got this Undead Battalion box of 110 Mantic minis for $32. That's about 29 cents for each mini. That is a crazy good deal. So now I have the Malic's Endless Hordes Mega Army box set, and I also have this one that you're looking at, the Undead Battalion box set that was sent to me by mistake. Together that makes for 251 new minis, not counting the Balefire Catapult. All this stuff cost me just a little less than 180 US dollars. That deal is wicked. So this is an unboxing of the first product that was sent to me by mistake. Let's take a look inside the Undead Battalion box. I'm going to remove the lid. That's Morgoth the Faceless on the box art. Now I have to confess that I've opened this box before and I organized the contents to make for a smoother presentation of the video. Right on top of the box is the Kings of War 2010 rule set. It's only 12 pages, but it is the complete 2010 edition rules. Here you go. You can see how it opens. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, and on the back of each of those 6 pages. So 12 pages of rules. Now this set of rules has been made obsolete by the second edition 2011 rules. Okay, there's also this Kings of War brochure. The brochure has some tips on assembling and painting the models. It has an ad for the Mantic webpage, and on the back here it has an explanation of the Mantic points reward system. Okay, speaking of Mantic points, right here, these 9 stickers are Mantic points. If you get 10 of them, you can trade them in for a keychain or a pair of modeling clippers. 25 points can be exchanged for various models. Okay, so all the sprues in this box make a total of 110 models. There's 40 skeletons, 20 revenants, 20 ghouls, and 30 zombies. The models come on these very small round bases. Mantic packaged the set with larger square bases. Right here, larger square bases. These can be glued neatly underneath the round bases. You see how it has that round indentation. These are called ready bases in the literature. So here there are 110 of the square ready bases. These come in handy if you want to use the models in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, because that rule system requires square bases. Alright, let's look at a zombie sprue. Okay. There are 10 of these sprues with enough parts for 3 zombies on each sprue. There are 3 torsos. Here's one. Here's another. And the third. As you can see, 2 of the torsos only have 1 arm. You could glue on one of the other 3 arms or leave the model with its single arm. So here's one of the 3 arms. And where is the other arms? Here are the other arms. This arm is holding a zombie head, and this arm down here is holding a hand. So those are the 3 arms. There are 6 heads. You could get a lot of variation there. Let's look at the heads. Here's a head right here. Focus camera. And I'm just going to pan through each of the 6 heads. 6 zombie heads. Okay. There are 3 leg parts. So here's a set of legs. They kind of have like ragged loincloth things that they wear for clothing. More legs. Okay, besides the legs, there's this circular patch of earth here. What you could do with that circular patch of earth is that you can take it and attach it to a base and then put one of the zombie torsos on this right here, and it would look like the zombie had, clawed his way up through the surface of the earth. So if you did that, then you would have a leftover leg part that you hadn't used, and they thought of that at Mantic, and they gave you this piece right here, which is a spinal column. So you can take the pair of legs and attach the spinal column to the top of it, and then you have a zombie figure that is just legs and a spinal column. It's kind of comical. So that's the zombie sprue. Okay, next up are the ghouls. Okay, the ghoul sprues are small. 2 models to a sprue. There's 10 identical sprues. You have 2 torsos here and here. 2 leg parts. There's legs and another legs. 3 heads. Some variation there, right? Okay, there's the 3 heads. Also, you have 3 weapon options. Now the torsos come with 2 empty hands, so you could clip off either one of the empty hands and then glue on, say, this hand and dagger bit, or this hand and cleaver bit, or this kind of long-fingered clawed hand that looks like Freddy Krueger. Okay, and the last part of this sprue is just to the left of the clawed hand, and this, it took me a while to figure out what this is, but this is a pouch full of human body parts. That's so gross. But ghouls eat human flesh, you see, so that's why they would have such a pouch. Alright. Rifling through my notes here, bear with me. Okay. Okay, this here is a skeleton troop sprue. There are 2 of these sprues and each one has parts for 10 models. Now, 6 of the skeleton warriors have this peg and hole system for attaching torsos to leg parts. And you're looking at the back of the 6 peg torsos here. You can see the pegs sticking out, like there's one right there. So those 6 aren't very posable. I guess they're easier to assemble. Here's some of the leg parts that have the hole for the peg. Alright. You got the other ones, like these leg parts here, don't have a hole for the peg, and they're more posable, a little bit trickier to assemble, and they go with torsos in this area, which are more customizable and more difficult to assemble. So here's a torso and here's a torso. We've got 4 torsos. Well, yeah, 4 torsos, and they're all headless, these ones. So let's look at the heads. We have 5 heads here and here. One of the heads has a axe embedded in its skull. It's pretty weird, kind of funny. Many of the models have open hands, so to fill those open hands you've got weapon options. So we've got like 8 spears. Here's 4 spears, and over here on this side is another 4 spears. One of the spears here has been broken in the shaft, and so it's a fragment of a spear. We've also got 8 swords. They all look the same, but you can see one of the swords here in the top left. There's 4 arms that can be attached to certain torsos. The posable ones, not the peg system torsos, but the posable ones have arms that can be attached. 2 of the arms are open-handed and would be probably used in conjunction with the swords and spears. 2 of them have weapons, okay, and you can see both of them here. This one has a mace, and the one next to it has a sickle, which is kind of a bizarre weapon to have a farming implement like that on a battlefield, but it looks cool, right? Okay, there's a few extra bits here that are cool. There are 2 pieces that make a skeletal dog. You can see those at the bottom there. What else did I need to mention besides the skeletal dog? One piece is a skull surrounded by debris. Let's see if I can find that. There, in the center. Skull surrounded by debris, circular piece, fits into one of the ready bases. Right next to it is a earth bursting apart. So you put this bursting earth on a ready base, and then you take this guy here, the skeletal torso, and glue him into that piece, and it looks like you've got some Evil Dead skeleton bursting out of the ground. That would be cool. Okay. Okay, there's a tombstone you could mount on a base somewhere. You can see that here. There's a severed dwarf head right here. severed dwarf head you could put on a base. And that's it for the skeleton troop sprue. Okay, next, the skeleton command sprue. The skeleton command sprue is almost identical to the sprue we just looked at, and I'll only mention what's different. You get a standard pole, which you can see here, it's pretty long, going through the center there. Coming with the standard pole is this a bit of torn fabric. You could put this on the standard to be kind of like a flag, but you could also put it on a skeleton's back to be like a cape. You know, either way. There's two musical instruments. One is a small handbell. Let me get that. Okay. Can you see the small handbell here? Okay, also there's a horn. Right here, there's two pieces to the horn that connect by a peg and a hole. There's one piece here, and this is the other piece. I don't know if you can see it with my cheap camera, but if you look closely at the piece to this horn, you can see a skeletal face coming out of the end of the horn here. That's cool. Alright. What else did I want to mention about this sprue? There are a few different weapons here. There's a couple of battle axes here that weren't on the other sprue. And here is a Morning Star weapon. That's cool. This sprue, the other sprue had 5 heads. This sprue only has 4, and in place of one of the heads is this piece, which is like a conical cap you could put on any of the bear skulls, and you take that thing and paint it so it looks like either metal or leather or some dyed fabric. Okay. The rest of the sprue is really just identical to the skeleton troop sprue. So, we're done with that sprue. Okay, here is Revenant troop sprue. The Revenants really closely resemble skeleton warriors. They're like elite skeleton warriors. The main difference between the appearance of the models is that the Revenants are heavily armored. So there are like 7 pieces of armor on this sprue that you could attach to some place on your model. Here's a piece here, and here's one down here, here's one here, and another up here, and moving lower, here's a piece of armor here, and one here. And I thought this bit here was a piece of armor, but I can't even identify it for sure. I don't know what that is. The Revenants get no spears on their sprue, and in place they have this half-dozen different pieces of armor that you can glue onto them in some place. Oh, let me show you the battle axe on this sprue. This battle axe is unique. I haven't seen it on any other sprue, and it's worth looking at. So the Revenants have this battle axe as a weapon option for any of their open-handed models. The rest of the sprue is just like the skeleton troop sprue. except the spears are swapped for armor. So the last sprue to look at is the Revenant Command sprue. That's it here. But there's really not much on this sprue that you haven't already seen. It duplicates like almost all the pieces on the Skeleton Command sprue, with the difference that the spears are gone and in their place are the pieces of armor. So I'm not going to go through it any further. Everything on it you've already seen. Alright, now you've seen everything that came into this box. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. I'm delighted to be in possession of this box set. It was a great bargain, and I look forward to painting these models. Take care.